I've been using, on these past couple tours, this AC15 right here as my sort of go-to clean, crunchy sound with no pedals. It just straight through the whole night. And I use the top boost channels, and I use the master volume too. And that's sort of my go-to clean sound. And then with this AC30 right now, I'm using that as my pedal sound. So it's going through pedals. So it sounds even cleaner if it's just the amp, but I'm dirtying it up with pedals. I have my friend George Trips makes this Red Llama pedal that I use, and that sort of just gives the amp its tone, and then I go through a bunch of Earthquaker fuzzes and really dirty it up. But to have a clean signal with a 15 that never gets affected, it's cool because I get to boost whatever crazy fuzz I have, but my tone really never goes away because I always have the clean sound with me too, which isn't that clean. It's weird because I feel like Voxes can do one thing really well, but that one thing is so many different things, from like Southern rock to the Beatles, like British Invasion and like the Jam and stuff. And so I think it's really crazy how many different sounds, or one sound, but different kinds of music you can play out of these things. And this AC30 is really cool. It has a little bit more headroom than the AC15, but I really like the 15 too. But I use the normal channel on the AC30, and I use the top boost on the AC15. And this one's getting all the pedals right now, and so I have this one set up to be a little bit more actually clean, and then the pedals are doing most of the dirt. And this one's just natural amp distortion. Starcrawler just put out a record called She Said, in which everything is pink. The whole record is pink, and so we decided for these live shows and getting back into it that it would be a good idea to paint everything pink. And I think at the time we didn't really notice how hard that was, but now we have pink guitars, pink amps, pink drums, pink cables, and it's a whole thing. But I think it's really cool when you go to a show and you see that somebody's trying. And I think it shows that we're not just not giving a shit. And so it's also cool to have, I think, the only pink boxes that are out here today. And my friend Misha Lindez from Sad Girl painted these for me, and he's great. And check out Sad Girl if you haven't. And he won't paint your amps, but he'll paint mine. I mean, when I think about tone, I just want to hear something that sounds natural when I play back. I don't know. I mean, when I think about tone, I think about Tom Petty, really, because I think that's the most organic tone there is. Like, when I listen to Refugee or, you know, even The Losers, like that whole record, and I mean, even up and through the 90s, like the Mary Jane's Last Dance, like it's just, there's some great tones there. But then I'm also into like using octave pedals too, and going for the whole more like Jack White thing too. But I also use a 3-string guitar half the time because I grew up not really wanting to play guitar, so I wasn't that good. And my dad played a lot of blues, so he was always in open tuning. So I'd pick up a guitar and I'd go to like do a or a D chord, and it would sound like shit. And I realized that if I just put my finger barred across, it would work. And then, I forget, one day like the G string broke or something, and I broke the nut, or not the nut, I broke the bridge on the guitar, and so I couldn't put a couple strings on it, and I had the first 3 strings, and it was still in the open tuning. And I started realizing that I could do more than just doing the bar. I could, you know, hold one finger down in the middle and like make cool sounding weird chords. And I sort of just started learning like that by ear. And then that kind of grew. And so when I met Arrow and she wanted to jam, I brought my 3-string guitar and we sort of just jammed like that. And there was no bass player at the time, so nobody had to like get weird with me. It was just me being weird, so it worked out. But I think that sort of helped me too find my own style, because I wasn't trying to play like anybody else. I was just sort of jamming on my own thing and just being weird. And I think that's some of the best tones is just being weird with yourself, I guess. Yeah, so originally when we started the band, I was mainly using this 3-string right here. And so it's tuned to open G, G, D, G. And so it's like a single chord. Keith Richards uses open G as well, except he has 5 strings. He takes the first string off. I take the first string off and then I go for 2 more, because why not make things even easier? And when you take off the high strings, you don't even need to be that good. And so at the end of the night, I usually hand the guitar to somebody else in the audience and let them have a go at it, because it doesn't take much. I'm not really doing much up here. But I think that's important too, because I think music is something that everybody should be able to play, and it's not like a club for anybody specifically. It was cool starting out with that, but then you could only go so far with that, so eventually I got into 6-string and, you know, playing different chords and stuff, and getting into more country music and bends, and then so I started playing more 6-string too, and then we sort of go back and forth, and then sometimes during the shows I'll be playing a 3-string and my brother will be playing a 6-string, and we'll go in between and mesh the two. And it's just a really fun way for me to play, just looking at the different tunings, because I don't really think when I play the 3-string. I'm just sort of just jamming. But when I'm playing 6-string, I'm thinking about, okay, what key am I in, what scale am I playing? And so it's just a way for when I get to that part of the set that I stop thinking, and it's just having fun. Thanks for watching. I hope I didn't bore you. If you seem somewhat interested, then maybe go check out our new album. It's called She Said. There's a bunch of songs on it for different people. You know, there's fast songs, there's rock songs, there's slow songs. So whatever gets you going, you could go listen to it. You can hate it, you could love it, as long as it makes you feel something. Thank you for watching. And leave a comment if you hate it too, because you know we all love to hate things.